G'day and welcome, my name's Cautious Pancake, and in today's video we're going to turn zombies into lemmings and watch them jump off this almost but not quite fully AFK tower. The goal for this base was to take the concept of the sideways ramp block with a diagonal railing that the zombies just love to jump over and use it to produce a base where you can AFK the Horde Knight but still have some room for loot storage and crafting benches up the top, so you can productively work on things while listening to the pitter-patter of zombies splattering themselves on the dirt like rain. So let's start with a quick walkthrough. From here, we go through the fence, which is purely decorative and just holds the spotlight so we can see what's going on during the horde. From there, we have the pit at the bottom. This is actually a zombie force field using the wall stud block, but it's one that the zombies can still fall through for a reason, and I'll go over that later in the video. There's a ramp up out of the pit so the zombies don't get stuck if they do fall in, and then we can head up the main ramp. The idea of this ramp is that it heads up and around the tower, but is separated from it so that it keeps the zombies away from the blocks and minimizes any damage that they might do. I've used the door trim off-center corner block to separate the ramp from the tower while giving it some stability still, so that it mostly looks like it's a floating platform winding around the tower. Once we get about halfway up, we start the section that provides the main mechanic for this base, and that's these little in and out sections that use the ramp block sideways with a diagonal railing on top. This combination of blocks is very effective at confusing the zombies' pathing and forcing them to try and jump over it, despite the fact that they could just walk around the path. My best guess is that there's some zombie logic in the game that says if they bump into a railing or any other block, they should try and jump over it if there's room. And this combined with the diagonal orientation of the railing means that they're more likely to bump into it and therefore more likely to jump and try and go over the top. We then just repeat this layout 3 times as we go around the tower, and then provide a ramp up to the next level and repeat. So after 3 circuits around the tower we get to the top, and here's a basic security cage to stop the zombies getting in. For this build, I've just added a series of trigger plates wired to a speaker to sound an alarm in case we're up above doing work and a zombie makes it to the top. As you'll see though, it doesn't happen very often, so having something here at least is worthwhile. You could replace the speaker with a turret of course, which would make this base fully AFK as long as it's got ammo. Up above the security room, we have our base with workbench, campfire, chem station and all your storage needs, as well as the battery bank that powers the base. And finally, up on the roof, we have a single SMG turret in case we need any vulture protection during the horde. Well, that's enough of a tour to get the idea. Let's get into the Horde Night and see how it goes. Alright, we've just ticked over to 10 o'clock. I'm going to stand up in the security cage. Let's pop down with a detached camera and see if we can find where the zombies are coming from. Here we go, coming from the left of screen. One of them's just decided to stand around and give the base a bit of a slap. There he goes. Everybody's heading up the ramp now successfully. And our soldier is the first one to fall over the edge. Followed by a skater. Got a dog up there, so we'll get to see whether or not if it works successfully for the zombie dogs. And there he goes, so that's good. Meanwhile, everybody else is tandem jumping off the side. Some of them will jump up on the railings like that and not fall over. They just drop back down and keep going around. Now, I forgot to mention earlier that for tonight's horde, I'm running with a level 300 character on day 7000, so we've got a huge game stage of 720. And that's to just show that this base can hold up at any game stage, really. So if you put the effort into building it, it'll last you the whole game. Another thing to note, I guess, while the zombies just run around here or mill around here and fall off constantly, is that the tower gets wider as we go up, which aims to achieve a couple of things. First, it expands the interior of the base so that at the top there's sufficient space to build a livable base. And secondly, for Horde Nights, I wanted the zombies to be falling as far away from the footings of the tower as possible to ensure that any cop explosions don't take out the bottom of the tower and bring it all down. We can also see down the bottom here that some of the zombies fall through the force field, and even that looks like that doggo's dead. So the fall damage is going to slowly take out the zombies, mostly the non-radiated zombies. Obviously the rads are going to regenerate their health while they run back up. So the rads will probably live throughout the Horde Night and be around at the end, but most of the non-rads will die off during the Horde Night and be replaced obviously with new zombies, including some more rads. So I'd be surprised at the end if we don't just have a whole pile of radiated zombies to deal with. Got some spiders up here as well. This base deals with those as well. They'll crawl around and jump off the edges over the railings just like any other zombie. And now, since it's coming up on an hour into Horde Night and no zombie has even made it past the first couple of corners on the second level, it must be about time for a Horde Night montage. Alrighty, Horde Night's done, so we've got a bunch of rads waiting for us. We'll pop some recog, grab some food and some coffee, get ourselves all nice and buffed up, and grab also some Molotovs and contact grenades that we've got. I'm sure they're going to come in handy. Trick obviously now is to head back downstairs without falling off the walkway. No zombies yet. Oh, there's somebody. Thing is, they're going to keep lapping and keep jumping off while we keep coming down. Oh, here we go. Try not to run face first into them. Biker over there, let's get him. Ow! What the? Oh, God damn it. Must make sure that they're actually finished off before moving on to the next one. Get a few of them burning and keep coming down. Nobody waiting here. Oh, here we go. Should be plenty coming up from the bottom. So while no one's running at us, let's see if we can take out a few. Molotov for good measure. Still no one coming up. Oh, again. Getting a bit close to them now. Still burning, that's good. It's kind of hard shooting them so they run sideways, and at bad times run out of ammo. Get the ammo reloaded. And get a... Oh, no, we don't want to use a Molotov when they're that close. Pose a few of these down. Exactly what the M60's for. Can we get another Molotov in, do you think? There we go. One. Oh, he's not coming. While they group up, get in the explosives. And... crawling flaming biker. Quickly reload this before he gets here. Alrighty. So mostly it. Oh, one more group. Close them down. Goodbye. Oh, and we've attracted a screamer. Where are you? There you are. Double tap to finish. Of course, you brought in a few friends. Let's take care of them. You still alive? Yes. Alright, I think that's it. Now that that's done, which really wasn't too bad apart from my clumsy efforts to finish zombies off. Quickly bando, I'm not even sure which bus we've got. Throw in some painkillers as well. Next step is to check out what damage they did. So that first block looked like 3,500 damage on the first block. Sorry, 1,500 damage, 3.5 grand left. So other than that one, they're all, well, there's 500 damage, but it's mostly just a tickle on the rest of them, which is pretty good. As you can see, a few others here. The railings, let's see how that first pair of railings that has the most bunched up didn't really have a lot of damage. Can't see much or anything visible on the tower walls either. And once you get past that first ramp, it looks pretty good. Oh, did another grand off that one. For some reason they took a liking to that one. Again, tickles over there. 500 there. Looking pretty good. The obviously risk of this base is that if you do lose any of these blocks on the pathing is going to be completely cactus, and they're going to hammer at the base of the tower and bring it all down. But as you can see, they really don't seem to do anything to the path other than that first block. So what it might be worth doing, if you were particularly nervous about it, is adding a second ramp at the bottom. But given this was day 7,000 on an insane game stage, it's probably not worth it. Now, for those of you wondering why I called this a 99% AFK base and not a 100% AFK base, this would be why. The grand total of all of the zombies made it to the top during Horde. Now, if the long winding ramp is putting you off using a base like this, since it's a long way to the top to go drop off your loot, then fear no more. It's possible to add a quick ladder access straight up the middle of the pillar in the inside of this base. It takes you all the way through to the security room, where you can then climb up the other ladder to access the top. Now there's another option to finish Horde Night if you're not super keen on fighting the Horde left on the ramp. That's to come up to the top here, open the hatch, and don't forget to turn off the power. And then jump in your gyro and just fly away. If we circle back around, assuming I don't plant this thing in the dirt, you should see all the zombies jumping off the ramp. There they go. And trying to come get us. You can see that they just generally go a little bit crazy. But they will be jumping off and therefore not doing any damage to our base, which is kind of the goal. And if we also bug out over here just for a little bit, get over into the next little bit of world loading in, then turning around, should be far enough. Turn around now and fly back. You'll see that we should have, if this works, made the zombies disappear. So the horde's despawned. We're back to normal load routines for zombies, so that doesn't include the horde. And our loot bags are still there, so we could pop down and get them. So that's a gimmicky way of getting rid of the horde at the end of the horde night using this base. And if you're keen to get started with a base like this, but earlier on in the game, before you've got the resources to build a huge tower, then here's how I'd go about it. Start with the 4-block pillar, and then go out 3 blocks to form the main platform. Then build up a ramp as shown, with a 1 block gap between it and the platform so that the zombies don't hit the walls. Then from the end here, level with the platform, place 2 ramp blocks as shown to create the first diagonal path. Then place a single cube, followed by a single ramp block to change direction again. From there, another single cube and another 2 ramp blocks to bring the path back towards the platform, but still leave it a single block away from the wall. Then, since it's wood frames and it's all going to fall down, let's put in another vertical support, like that. And we'll need to just hop up, and then connect it across, and then continue and repeat for the next couple of corners. Once you finish the 3 corners, it should look roughly like this, and it's time to put in the diagonal railings. You can wander around, just pop these on top like shown, and repeat for the other 2 corners. Then from there, it'll be time to head inside the base and finish up the walls and the fighting area. You can start to put cube blocks down to form the wall, but as you'll see, we'll very soon hit the limit of support from that central pillar. So we might need to, with the wood frames, head down below and put in some extra structural support underneath each of the corners. The difference between this and the tower that I built originally is that this is obviously just with wood frames to show how it will work, as opposed to the full base, which I built with concrete blocks directly. Concrete obviously has a much better structural support than the wood frames, so we ran into issues earlier and have to build this one a little bit smaller, but we can always grow it out after we built this early on in the game and expand it as we go up, like I did the other tower, where it goes wider and wider as it gets taller. As you get more mats, that's easier to do. Now here's how it could look when it's finished. And if we then decide to spawn in a few zombies to give it a quick test, let's just get a few regular guys in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we probably don't need a demo. So let's spawn them in and swing the camera around. Got the burnt zombie just wailing on the pillar, but he should sort that out in a second. And you can see that they treat it exactly the same as they would normally, jumping up over the railings and sometimes falling off and sometimes continuing on. Well, if you've made it through this video, I just want to say thanks. I really appreciate everyone that takes the time to watch these, and I hope you find them useful for giving alternative-based design ideas. Please leave me a comment or a like if you found this useful, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like it in the future. And I'll leave you now with my pitiful attempts at landing the gyro back on the roof of the AFK Lemming Tower.